once you see the kids, you can't unsee that. And I am haunted by these children.
Nearly 40 miles south of Miami, on a swath of land tacked onto the Homestead Air Reserve Base, the migrant children detention debate plays out on either side of this fence. A subsidiary of Caliburn International runs a temporary influx shelter in Homestead, Florida. Protesters, officials from Caliburn, and presidential candidates argue over the role of temporary influx shelters and where Homestead fits in the detention debate.
There's no elevator pitch for Homestead. The size, the fact that it's on federal land and it is, unaccountable, unregulated, the absolutely outrageous profit that is being made here. The length of time that these children are being held here.
Homestead is this administration's largest migrant detention center. It attracts attention not because conditions rival the horror stories heard at the border, but partly because the for-profit shelter is paid $750 per child. The Trump administration argues the shelter is exempt from licensing requirements and oversight measures permanent shelters must follow, because it sits on federal land and is an emergency influx facility. The facility conditions we saw on our tour were clean and well-maintained. But 3 complaints protesters have are the length of children's stays, the warehousing of children for profit, and the education program in the facility.
I'm a retired school principal. I referred to their educational services earlier, I think, as abysmal. You've been in, so you can tell me if I've got it right or not. That the children gather inside a tent with walls that don't go all the way out, and there are anywhere from 36 to 48 kids in a class.
Walking into the giant education tent at Homestead, the first thing we notice is the noise. It's hard to understand anyone over the din of children and instructors' voices bouncing off each other over the partial walls that divvy up the classrooms. The official number of days children stay in these facilities on average is 20 to 30 days if they have a parent or close family member in the U.S. On our tour, we quickly encounter one teenage boy who has been at the facility for 63 days, though his mother lives in Maryland. 22 kids at Homestead at the time of our visit were separated from family members at the border.
Homestead is the confluence of the darkest and most systemic problems in our society. It's where it all comes together.
They will be well cared for as we deal with their parents.
Former Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly, who supported the family separation policy in 2017, sits on the board of Caliburn International. Though conditions here surpass the low bars set by some facilities on the border, licensed psychologists and studies indicate that simply separating a child from their family can traumatize them. One thing all sides agree on, Homestead is different from any other detention center. As of July 24th, Health and Human Services says the number of children at Homestead has decreased to just under 900. They say incoming children are being sent to other facilities. HHS is not committed to closing down Homestead, but says the hope is to have enough small shelters next year that Homestead will no longer be needed.